Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another HD broadcast, and this will be the game between Tester and OgS.TheWind in the G-Star All-Star Tournament. This is for third place in the tournament, and this has been quite some time coming. I've been waiting to cast this game, and there's been a couple of delays, but we're finally here, ready to see these two players duke it out. Once again, the Protoss player, the red Protoss Terror, is going to be Tester, and his opponent, the blue Zerg, Heart of the Swarm, OgS.TheWind. Not exactly Heart of the Swarm, but it is a Zerg versus Protoss, not a matchup that we have seen in some time, especially in this tournament, as the majority of games have been between Terran and Zerg players. But we are finally going to see a Protoss versus Zerg, and I am so excited to be watching this game. My legs are shaking, my hands are shaking. I can't wait to see who wins this game. And of course, the next game coming up on this channel on youtube.com/HDStarcraft is going to be the grand finals between oh goodness, I already forgot who it was between. I'm so excited. The adrenaline has created a mind block in my head. But we'll see when that game comes around. This is right here going to be all that I care about for now. It's going to be Tester versus OgS.TheWind. It looks like the Wind will be opening up with, whoa, this is a pretty early spawning pool here. 13 pool, I've got to say. And he, usually when a Zerg player opens up with a spawning pool like this, kind of means that they're a little bit worried about early aggression. But on top of that, by opening up with this early spawning pool, you're able to go with aggression yourself. So we might see some early Zerglings from OgS.TheWind, possibly going to try to apply some pressure on Tester. But if any player, any Protoss player can handle pressure, it's definitely Tester. His name is kind of his keepsake. It's you know, he's able to withstand any test, anything his opponents can throw at him, and he's extremely good at dealing with any kind of aggression. I've actually seen him come back from almost inevitable defeat. It looks like right now he is actually going to be applying a little bit of a harassment on this drone right here. This is very annoying as a Zerg player when you cannot throw up this hatchery. The probe will be denying that and delaying that for quite some time, and it looks like finally the probe will get pulled off and OgS.TheWind gets his hatchery down. So it's a little interesting that OgS.TheWind decided to go for this 13 pool and then he went for the hatchery. I've got to say, with the lately seeing a lot of Protoss players throwing up pylons blocking the ramp, going with an early pull can be effective against that because you're able to get those Zerglings out to deal with the pylon early on, and then you secure your natural expansion after you take out those pesky wall-offs and those pesky cannons with an early pull. So I think that's what OgS.TheWind was thinking. He's now got his hatchery down. He is going to be able to get rid of this probe very easily. Well, maybe the probe will do a little bit more scouting here. It will survive for a little bit longer, but the one thing OgS.TheWind has to be careful about is the fact that Tester has gone for this fast expo. This is a super early expansion. Note that Tester doesn't even have a gateway yet. All he threw up was a forge, so indeed Tester was trying to just go for a straight up eco style game. And a lot of the times when Protoss players go for this early forge, not only do they use the cannons defensively, but like I said, they'll use it offensively. And so I think OgS.TheWind, he's safe for now from any kind of offensive cannon rush, as now the hatchery has just plopped out. Creep will now, of course, prevent any Protoss structures from being laid down. But Tester is way ahead in economy, I think, as he's got this early Nexus down. And really, when you're behind like this as a Zerg player, you have to remember that Zergs have to be up an additional expansion over other players. If you're 2-base Zerg versus 2-base Protoss, you are not ahead as a Zerg player. You're actually considerably behind. So there's a couple of options for OgS.TheWind here. He can either try to go for a third hatchery somewhere on the map. Obviously, the gold will not be a possibility due to obvious destructible debris in the way. The other possibility is that OgS.TheWind will try to do some kind of an all-in attack. Perhaps he's going to try to do a Roach bust or a Baneling bust. Note there's only 2 cannons here, and right now it looks like Tester is trying to scout. This is so key for Protoss players. They have to scout with their probe to see what the Zerg is up to. Otherwise, they're completely in the dark. They don't know if an all-in is coming. They don't know if another hatchery is getting laid down. So that's what Tester is checking for right here. He's checking for more hatcheries. Doesn't see any on the way. And it looks like the Wind is, ooh, look at this. We have a Nidus network on the way. So, oh, wow, he barely has any drones. You guys can see he has no drones at the main. It looks like all of his drones moved over to the natural. Oh, this is so clever. Notice he also canceled his spine crawler after he got rid of the probe. So he's trying to recuperate all his minerals, and the reason why he threw up all of his drones, why he transferred all of them from the main to the natural, is to try to make Tester think that the Zerg player was going mass eco, but that's not the case. OgS.TheWind is actually tricking the Protoss player, saying, look, I've got a lot of drones at my natural, but I don't have any drones at my main. You might think I've been droning up, but hello, here comes the Zerglings. The Nidus Worm has appeared, and wow, Tester, he was actually trying to go for a double Stargate. He was trying to open up with early Phoenixes off of the 2-base early Expo, and this is a very dangerous build against Zerg, but OgS.TheWind floods in with all of his Zerglings, and I think this is going to be GG. Tester here is gonna get Nidus in your face. He's gonna be so pissed to lose this game, and they are gonna have to move on to a game 2. OgS.TheWind here will take this game in a very convincing fashion. The Stargate's now unpowered. Everything has been canceled out of those Stargates, and now Tester confined into his natural expansion, and now you're not even safe from the front. You've got to worry about your own main base with Zerglings flooding in. It looks like the Zealot there was not enough to protect, and all the Zerglings going to make their way in now. I don't see Tester coming back in this game. The all-in strategy has worked, and now the probes forced to fight for their lives. That is never a good situation as the probes try to evacuate the area, but it is going to be GG. Tester loses game number 1 in the 3rd place matchup of the G-Star All-Star Tournament. Thank you guys for tuning in. We're going to go ahead and move on to game number 2. HD signing out.